Well, let's talk about the G50 transaxle. Maybe how it shifts. I'll show you how it goes into gear. I'll show you the shift pattern, the effort needed, things like that. So I have my obligatory Porsche keychain here, and I have my coffee. So let's have a little coffee talk. Okay, here we are in the car. I just opened the sunroof. And here is the G50 shifter. So just to show you, you kind of have a reverse, and it would be up to the left. And then an H pattern, fifth gear would be over and up. So basically the shift operation is just to show you how it indexes. So right here, in the middle, and a little bit of effort here, see? So this would be maybe just a few pounds, and then into first. So these transaxles do need to be warmed up. So that's kind of on a normal, this is a standard long shifter, not a short shifter. So over, and see how it clicks in? Okay, and then over, and then down. So that's kind of the approximate travel, 4 inches possibly. And then up, so in the middle, and then straight up, third, right? So there's nothing crazy about the transmission here and the shift action. I mean, I always had like trucks, like a Toyota truck with a long stick. So it shifts like that. So basically, effort to go to fifth and to the fifth side, maybe 2 pounds of pressure, and then into fifth. And then the spring back is the same. See, it just springs back. Okay, so when I first test drove this car, the bushings in here, so this will go down. There's kind of there's a pin that goes through here with bushings on it to allow it to do all of this stuff. It just moves like that. And if those bushings wear out, which it was on this car, all of this will be extremely vague. It's like stirring porridge, and you have to guess your gears. And especially between reverse and first, and that's dangerous on this car. That's why I have the shift knob with the shift pattern on it, because even with good bushings in here, you don't want to confuse those two, and it could happen. Definitely with the bad bushings, yeah, you could easily go into reverse and not first. So, and with good bushings, it's still something you have to get used to, so just be aware of that. So to go to reverse, let me put my foot on the clutch again. So here's first, okay, and then maybe another 8 to 10 pounds of pressure. So first, 2 pounds of pressure. Reverse is an extra click. Hear it? I'm pushing. There it goes. And then reverse, up. Okay? So when the bushings are bad, this area here between first and reverse gets vague. And then, you could come over here and go up to first while you're in reverse. So definitely, if you own one of these cars and this is kind of feeling a little vague, go in here. I had in one of my previous videos, Jay West makes bushing kits for the G50. Okay, now for the clutch, and I have my trusty flip-flops on. So there's the pedal box. Clutch action is like that. I'd say, it's hard to tell with your feet, but 8 pounds, you're lifting weights, 8 to 10 pounds, it's smooth. And it's linear. So I go in, I go out, there's no, like I notice on some modern cars, where on a manual transmission they'll put a spring on the pedal where maybe lawyers made them do that. So if you lose hydraulic pressure, the clutch will spring out. This doesn't have it, and because of that, it's linear in and linear out. There's no, like some of these other cars, you come out here and it goes like this, and I hate that. So it is very, very smooth. Okay, so we went over the clutch, nice and smooth, fairly light. I think I mentioned it, but yes, it is hydraulic. So the 915 earlier ones are cable operated. So pros and cons to both. Okay, but this is what you get with a G50. No issues with the clutch. When I did pull my engine, I replaced the slave cylinder in the back while it was out, and one of the lines. The master was done already. I did have that in the maintenance receipts. So it is hard to get to the slave. You have to remove some of the heating ducts and things like that to get to it. It is tucked up high. It is not low on that transaxle, so it's up high and it is hard to get to. So if you ever have your engine out, that's the time to do that work. So, all right, just to give you just a quick heads up, so you do have your bushings in here, and a rod comes through here and it goes all the way back. I already peeled this back. There's a hatch here. You take those screws out, and then it couples to the transaxle back here, and there's another coupler there. And on the G50s there's a piece of rubber that basically isolates the shifter rod to the transaxle itself where it attaches. Mine was in good shape. If it was even suspect, I would have replaced it, but the rubber was like new, so I didn't do anything there. Alright, so hopefully that answers a lot of your questions on the G50. I don't have a 915 to compare it to, but I can definitely show you what the shifting is like on a G50. In some of my other videos I mentioned it. These are European transaxles. These aren't the type of gearboxes that you just get in and just start jamming gears. They like being warmed up. Definitely, they like fresh fluid. There's debate on what is the best. It's like motor oils. So you could try it for yourself. If it shifts better, then you did better. If you don't like the shifting, change it. So there are a lot of good gear oils out there. This takes about, I don't know, maybe a couple miles to start to lubricate, and basically what you'll feel is like if you go into first, well, on these transaxles, you always want to go into first gear at a stop. Don't try and force it in when you're slowing down. If you're going to a stop sign, you know, when you stop, go into first. Okay? If you're rolling and you want first gear, these have enough torque where they will go easily into second. So stick to shifting in the first at a stop. Preserve your synchros. These are expensive to rebuild. And then you'll notice until it warms up, so you're in second, your first shift into third, it may be a little hard to get into third until it's warmed up. Once the transaxle is warmed up, it'll slide in easily. If it gives you a little resistance going into third, don't force it, okay? Just shift it nice and gently, and it'll eventually go in, okay? I'm not saying that it's difficult by any means. Just be aware that give it some gentle movements until it's warmed up. Once it's warmed up, you know, you could do that, right? Second, third. I mean, once it's warmed up, it'll shift that fast. Fourth, boom. Fifth, boom. Okay? So you don't have to baby them once they're warmed up, but you let them get to operating temperature. Just like anything else mechanical, that's what we're dealing with here. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and we'll get to them. Thanks and have a good one.